The market's uncertain, revenue's tight, and hiring on hold. That's why results-driven companies are using Upwork to keep work moving. Go to Upwork.com today and start hiring proven freelance talent fast. No bulky overhead. No rigid long-term contracts. Just the right expert right when you need them. Work smarter and faster with Upwork. Go to Upwork.com now and find your freelance expert. That's UPWORK.com. Post a job for free and get started today.
This episode is brought to you by Capital One. Capital One's tech team isn't just talking about multi-agentic AI. They already deployed one. It's called Chat Concierge, and it's simplifying car shopping. Using self-reflection and layered reasoning with live API checks, it doesn't just help buyers find a car they love. It helps schedule a test drive, get pre-approved for financing, and estimate trade-in value. Advanced, intuitive, and deployed. That's how they stack. That's technology at Capital One.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kilowatt, a podcast about electric vehicles, renewable energy, autonomous driving, and much, much more. My name is Bodie, and I am your host. And on today's episode, we are going to talk to the one and only, the legend, Allison Sheridan, and we are going to chat about a little experience she had while she was at the eye doctor. Now, I'm not going to ruin this for you because I want Allison to be able to tell her story in full, but it's an interesting one for sure. So let's go ahead and welcome Allison to the show.
Well, hi, Bodie. Thanks for letting me beg my way on again.
Yes. Well, you should just say, instead of, hey, can I come on and talk about X? You should just say, hey, I'm going to come on and talk about X, because you're always welcome on. There's no can I. There's always, yes, of course.
Well, plus you don't have a real good way of saying, no, I really don't want to talk to you anymore. Please go away.
Yeah, I tried. When you said, am I being annoying? I said, yes. And you still came back. So I gave it my best shot.
Resistance is futile.
Allison, today, you always have a fun topic. Today, we are going to talk about Sentry Mode and a little accident that happened with your Model Y.
Model 3.
Model 3, sorry. Steve has a Model Y. You have a Model 3. Yes.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, before I start, I do not want anything I'm saying here to be considered an endorsement of Elon Musk, the man, the CEO, in any way, shape, or form. I find everything he does abhorrent. So setting that aside, I absolutely love my car. And I hope I'm allowed to still love my car, because I really love my car.
I think in this audience, in this community, you are allowed to love your car for sure.
Good. Thank you. Well, so Steve and I were in my eye doctor appointment where I just had my eyes dilated. So I'm sitting in this dark room, and he was there because he was going to have to drive me home, when he got a critical alert on his phone from the Tesla app saying that my car had been in an accident. And this was due to what Tesla calls their Sentry Mode. So the Teslas, I'm sure your audience knows, but in case I like to level set everybody, there's all kinds of sensors and cameras on the Teslas. There's cameras looking forward. There's cameras looking back. There's on the side pillars there's rear facing cameras at about a 45-degree angle on the left and the right. And a lot of these are used in driving, but they're also very useful in case of an accident. And I want to talk a little bit about what I mean by driving. The side view cameras were turned on recently to be visible when you turn on your turn signal. So let's say you want to make a right-hand turn, you turn on your right-hand turn signal, you can see down the road whether there's, say, a bicycle coming in the, next to the curb next to you, which is a real common thing where I am. And so I just love that ability to see while I'm still looking forward. I'm not having to look way over to the side view mirror, or worse yet, over my shoulder to not be looking forward. I can see right in front of me that I've got somebody coming on the right-hand side. So I think that's really cool.
I think it's cool too. Do you know what I use that for? Here, there are access roads alongside the freeway.
Oh, right.
But you don't have to get on the freeway. You could travel the access roads from point to point to point, and there's just a stoplight in between. I use that a lot because in the lane that I use, right, I'm using the access road, and then there are people exiting the off ramp.
Oh,
And
right.
you have to yield if you're using the access road. And it's kind of hard out of the little tiny mirror that Tesla gives you to get a good vision. And when I first got my car, several times people were like honking at me because I didn't see them. And I had yielded. I thought it was clear to go. And I went and I almost got hit a couple of times. So what I do now is I turn that blinker on, or if I think about it, I'll hit the camera view, but I'll turn that blinker on to make sure that is clear along that path so that I can proceed without killing me, my family, or somebody else.
So when you say little tiny mirror, do you mean side view mirror or the rear view mirror?
No, the side view mirror and the rear view mirror I don't find to be particularly great, but the side view mirror I think is almost useless on a Tesla, but the cameras make up for it.
Yeah, I don't see a great need for the side view cameras anymore for me because of having the camera view come on. I don't use it pretty much at all. Another case of where I used it, which I thought was really interesting, I was backing up out of a parking place at Starbucks, and I've got the rear view camera, which is real wide, but then both side view cameras also come on now. So I've basically got like a 270-degree view out the back of my car. I can be parked between two SUVs, and I can still see full situational awareness behind me. So that was great. So I'm backing up and I've got all this great view. I know I don't need to turn my head because I can see far more in the cameras than I can with my own eyeballs. And so I'm backing up but I'm looking forward. And then I noticed on the display, one of the things they do with Teslas is they give you kind of an animated view of your surroundings. So you can see stop signs, you can see stop written in the road, you can see trash cans, you can see traffic lights, you can see the status of the light, is it red or green? And but you can also see pedestrians. So as I'm backing up, a woman walked from my left, where I'm not really looking that way because I'm looking at what's happening behind me. She comes up from the left and walks right in front of my car in the front left quarter panel. Now, she wasn't in any danger at that point because I'm going backwards. But as soon as I put into drive, I already knew there was somebody in front of me. And the reason I noticed it was because, again, it was right in front of my eyes. I've got her, I've got the backwards view, I got the two side camera views, and I didn't have to look up and out of the windshield even where she was obviously standing. So it just gave me great situational awareness that I knew everything that was going on around in my car all at the same time. So I'm a big fan of all the cameras.
Yeah, no, I am as well. And the alerts and things like that, although I think they go a little heavy on the alerts, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. One of the things they added recently was they make, like when I'm backing up out of my garage, they give me a little red line on the rear view camera showing if somebody's coming from my right or my left, if somebody's coming crosswise to me. The problem is it's delayed. It's not as quick as it needs to be. So when I see it, I definitely stop, but sometimes the car's actually already gone by the time I see it. So it's kind of, they're getting there. Maybe they'll speed it up. I'm not sure if they can, but that's not the most valuable thing.
Right. Now, before I distracted you and we went down a rat hole, we were previously talking about Steve's phone getting an alert, not your phone getting an alert, but Steve's phone getting an alert that your Sentry Mode had been activated and the car had been in an accident.
Yeah, we're both logged into my car and both logged into his car. And in notifications on the iPhone, there's a toggle for something called critical alerts, and that bypasses do not disturb and things like that. And I didn't have that on, and I didn't even realize it was a toggle that I needed to enable. So that's a little pro tip there.
Where was it at again?
It's in system settings, probably notifications, and then you go into the app, right? You gotta scroll through all the apps and go all the way down, or maybe it's at the top. Let me see. No, it does need to be in the app specifically. Get down to I have a lot of apps on my phone. Tesla, and then, at the top, it says allow notifications, which I had turned on, but the next one says always deliver immediately critical alerts. And that's what I did not have toggled on. Okay. So I put that on.
Gotcha.
Okay, so here I am with my eyes dilated, but Steve is not. So he leaps out of his chair and, being fleet of foot, he races down the stairs and gets over to the car and discovers that indeed my car has been in an accident. Now, what I want to give Tesla credit for is what they call Sentry Mode, and this isn't just the fact that it has cameras, because a lot of cars have cameras, but it also records what's going on, especially if something goes wrong. And you have to put a thumb drive or an SSD into your car, and it's got to be big enough. It's not that big. I don't know, 128 gig, I think it has to be. And then whenever it sees like suspicious activity, it records it. And over the last 6 years I've had my car, it'll show me people getting out of their car next to me, and maybe their door swings kind of close to my car. Sentry Mode will go, oh my gosh, I better record this, which is nice because if they gave me a bad door ding, maybe I could go, hey, bozo, you dented my car and here's proof. But a lot of times it's just me walking up and opening my car, or it's somebody walked in front of the car and the car thought it was a little too close for comfort. But when it was really, really helpful was when somebody actually hit my car. So the story's kind of sad. A 15-year-old kid who only had his driver's permit was driving his dad away from the doctor's office because he also had his eyes dilated. So it was good, had the kid driving him. But the kid was parked parallel to me, pulled out into the lane, and then when he straightened up, he only straightened partway up, and then he just drove straight into the back of my car. Just right into the back of my car. Trying to think, did he not understand the brake and accelerator? But he had obviously gone into reverse, and then he had stopped, and then he had gone forward, but he just didn't turn the wheel to miss hitting the thing directly in front of him.
From seeing this on, because you shared the video after it happened, from seeing this, if I didn't know any of the other story, it looks like they did it on purpose.
Well, I asked Steve kidding around last night during my my live show right after I'd read this article was, what if he just hated Teslas? If you take that leap, it could look intentional, but the cameras caught more than just that. So the rear view camera recorded this car backing out and then turning and plowing into the back of my car. And because it recorded that video, we have a very, very clear picture of the license plate of this car. So that's number one. I've got the license plate of the car. So imagine that we had not gotten the alert and they did a hit and run. I have the driver's or the license plate of this car.
Yeah, the license plate almost went. It was like it was zoomed in to where the camera was, so you could see it in time getting smaller, bigger, and then smaller.
Yeah. So Steve obscured the some stuff in these videos because we figured for their privacy, since they did all the right things, they did stick around and we got the insurance and they're paying for it and everything. But the other thing it captured, because we had these side view cameras, it captured the side view, same accident, except you see the dad get out of the passenger seat. So you know it wasn't the dad driving. That's the first thing. So if he had tried to say, oh, it was me driving on his insurance or something like that, no, it was the kid. And then about a minute later, there's another recording from the same camera. So it kept rolling. It kept taking these 30-second videos, and it captures the kid come around the back of the car. By this time, the dad has apparently gotten into the driver's seat because you see the kid walk around the back, you see the car start to drive away, and the kid goes up and looks at the damage. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that he is very distressed from his body language. You know, he throws his head back and rubs his hands through his hair. And it's kind of sad to watch because it's just like, you know, you can hear all the non-Girl Scout safe words he was probably saying when it happened. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is because if you've ever been in an accident and you have a witness, you know how valuable that witness is because you have the insurance company talks to the witness and boom, all your problems go away. There's no arguing, no debate. A witness saw what happened. Boom, you're clean. In this case, they did say it was their fault, but when the their insurance agent asked if we had a witness, he said, we got better than that. We have video evidence of the whole thing. And there was no question after that.
Yeah. I actually had a lady, and when I lived in Reno, it was snowy. There was ice on the ground, a little bit of snow on top of it. And if you've ever driven in those kind of conditions, you know that is,
it's called ice skating.
You have no friction for your brakes to stop or your tires to stop. She hit the side of my car. I was dealing with the insurance company who I won't name, but I will never use, and I hate their guts. But they said, the lady said it's my fault. She couldn't stop. I called the insurance company. They said they have a witness that shows that it wasn't her fault. I went through this whole process with the insurance company, and to the point of like, can I speak with a manager? No, all of our managers are in an offsite. Like every single one of your managers are in an offsite. So I had a lawyer write a letter, and then all of a sudden my car got fixed. One letter from the lawyer, but 3 months, well, probably 2 months of frustration, 3 months total to get the whole thing fixed.
Ugh.
So, and it turns out they did not have the witness, because when the lawyer requested the statement from the witness, there's no
So the
witness.
insurance company was just flat out lying.
Completely lying.
Oh, geez. Oh, that is so sleazy.
Yes. Yes, it is. You are correct.
Yeah. The sad part here, from my perspective, is that my baby got smashed into, and because it was a big fat SUV and I have a car, his bumper didn't hit my bumper. His bumper hit my trunk and my bumper. So the damage is going to be, we don't know the exact number right now, but I was taking bets with the guy at the repair place, and he thought it was going to be between $8,000 and $10,000 to get it fixed. And, this is how fast do you think he was going? 2 miles an hour if we round up?
An aggressive 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
So-
interesting. So the insurance company didn't give you any flack, really, because you had proof.
Mhm.
The owner of the vehicle, the dad, he fully admitted this. How do you think this would have gone if somebody was less honest?
Well, the fact that we had the video evidence, I think, would make it pretty easy to, have them go after them. Years ago, we were on the freeway. Steve was driving, and somebody rear-ended us on the freeway and did a hit and run. But I grabbed my phone as fast as I could as the guy started to pass us, and I took 2 pictures you could see the side view, you could see the make and model of his car, and you could see him, not super clear, but as good as you could get from maybe 15 feet away in a moving car. And then I took a whole bunch of pictures as the car drove away that had the license plate in it. But it was hard to see the license plate in the photos that I took. Steve, I started it, but then Steve actually stuck with it. He managed to work through all of the different combinations of numbers and letters that could be that license plate until he got a match for the exact make and model, gave it to the CHP. The CHP chased this guy down at his place of business, where it turned out he'd had so many accidents that he was a driver of some trucks owned by somebody else. He'd had so many accidents that the owner had told him, if you get in another accident, you're going to lose you're fired. So gave him a motivation to do the hit and run. But the CHP caught him and got him with, I'm sure it's a misdemeanor, but he went down for that. So
Yeah.
Evidence.
No, it's super helpful. And with more and more cars today being having the cameras, like my wife and I right now are looking for a new car, and we looked at the Ioniq 9 yesterday, and there's cameras all over the place. It was a very frustrating experience, not because of the salesperson. It was just a lot of people in the office, in the dealership. It was a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get a chance to ask a lot of questions, because immediately it became very clear that this was not going to be a good place to look at that car and have they had stuff, like all the floor mats and stuff were just in the back seat of the car. It was like it wasn't the best customer experience, and we had other cars to look at. So we were like, you know what, we're just going to, if we don't like any of the other cars, we'll come back to this one.
Well, one thing that surprised me was I kind of assumed that since cars have cameras now, Tesla's not special about this, that most cars would have the ability to record what was going on around your car in the case of an accident. But they don't, Bodie. And to quote the great Bodie Grimm, I asked ChatGPT because I'm too lazy to do any research, and it told me that only Rivian, the Cadillac Lyriq, and BMW have any kind of equivalent to Sentry Mode. And with most of these, you had to either buy an upgraded package when you bought the car, or you have to pay a monthly fee. Rivian, I think, was a monthly fee. BMW was the Drive Assist Plus feature had to be purchased. And Lyriq is supposed to have it, but a lot of people are saying they didn't actually get it yet. So it might be just still rolling out to people. But this seems like an obvious thing. The Priuses have lots of cameras. Why isn't there just a little recorder thing? A little bit of software,
At the bare minimum, it should come free with the car. If you want it to be connected to your phone, sure, charge me a fee. I understand that costs money. But for it to sit and record in your car onto a SD card, that costs nothing.
Yeah, well, yeah, you'd have to put in sensors to recognize that there was an impact, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
but you also pay for your car. Like, I understand, like, I have gone through this before, the whole bugaboo, but all of the things that you need for full self-driving come with the car you paid for. You paid for all the technology for full self-driving. You're not paying for the software, and I understand that costs extra money, so I'm okay with that. But at the bare minimum, if you have the sensor, like you said, that recognizes that there's an accident, and many of these cars already have something similar, because if I get too close to a car, it'll be like beep beep. It's just a
Yeah.
random car, so it knows at some level, like that technology already exists, and it's probably very cheap. But yeah, it should just record locally, so you have that. I love, like, one of the things the Tesla does is you can set it up so that if you hit the honk button, it will record. So it's
Yeah.
already pre-recording, so it'll record a few seconds before you honk, or save a few seconds before you honk, and then it's probably a few minutes after you've honked. So that seems reasonable to me, unless you're a chronic honker. Then in which case you just have a bunch of bad data. But I don't have that problem.
One of the things I do love about Tesla is that the capabilities of my car, having not given them more money in 6 years, is that I've just gotten more and more going in this. When I first got the car, like we mentioned, the side view cameras looking back, those weren't enabled to where you could see the view of it, but they were recording. And so if you put in a thumb drive or an SSD into your car, you could bring the camera views back, all of these videos that were made. And I ended up installing Python because Python 3 isn't natively on the Mac. And I edited some Python scripts in order to build a 3-up view of what was going on in my car. Well, now it's on the display and it's on your phone when you get the message. You could just look at it. So that was something where they had the cameras, but they just hadn't finished building out the software. So I'm hopeful that these car companies that have all these cameras could just add those enhancements after the fact and bring cars up to the kind of capability that Tesla has in this area.
I'm also hopeful. I'm also hopeful that they won't just charge you a ton of money to do these type of things, which frustrates me a little bit. Like, it's okay to make money. It's not okay, in my opinion, to nickel and dime people to death. In that,
You're talking about BMW. What was it they were charging a
Volkswagen
monthly
just
fee
recently
for heating your steering wheel or something? Was that VW?
It was I think that was BMW or Mercedes. It was one of the two. But VW, like, if you want to drive faster, they have a subscription for that. I can't remember.
To drive or accelerate faster?
I think it was accelerate. It says VW will introduce a subscription to increase your car power. It's £16.50 a month, or 165 pounds a year. So that leads me to believe that it's not coming here to the U.S.
To accelerate faster?
It's that so it has more power.
More horsepower?
Whatever that means. Anyway, I thought the story was frustrating and ridiculous, so I didn't cover it, but it was last week. But yeah, that's a silly thing to charge for.
Yep, I agree. Well, I hope it's okay again that I love my car. I love my car. It's fantastic.
We have so many Tesla people in this community. I think we're fine. Even the people that don't necessarily like Elon Musk, some of them still own Teslas. So, Allison, if you had to give like one going away tip, like say somebody just completely spaced out the last 20 minutes of our conversation, what would that one good tip be?
If you have a Tesla, don't forget to put an SSD or a thumb drive plugged into the center console to record this video, or nothing I've told you is going to work.
Yeah, and I will say that also mine is in the glove box, and mine came with the little Cybertruck card stick.
SSD or stick? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it came
that
automatically.
That does make more sense.
Yeah. So if you have a newer Tesla, you might not even have to do that. I know that Sierra's 2019 Model 3, they had to put one in that they had to buy. That was
she has the same car I have. Yeah. She might not have it in midlife crisis red though.
No, she has it in boring old plain white, and they bought the base model for $37,000. So
nice,
with FSD. But anyway,
I am going to live to 120. By the way,
that's good. if we're counting midlife at, never mind. Anyway, Allison, where can people find you and what you're up to?
Everything good starts with podfeet.com. That's where I have my podcast, the NosillaCast, the longest running Apple podcast, having surpassed 20 years a couple months ago.
Nice. I go to podfeet.com frequently, so
Yay.
I think everybody else should as well. I will put a link to your article where you wrote this up in our show notes.
With the videos and photos.
Yes, with all that stuff, with the necessary information blurred out. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us.
My pleasure. I'll barge in again next time without asking permission, just telling you when.
Well, just so behind the curtain, Allison, can I come in and talk to this? I was like, yeah, but you got to talk about this other thing too. So we're gonna stop this recording and start another one, just so everybody knows.
The market's uncertain, revenue's tight, and hiring on hold. That's why results-driven companies are using Upwork to keep work moving. Go to Upwork.com today and start hiring proven freelance talent fast. No bulky overhead. No rigid long-term contracts. Just the right expert right when you need them. Work smarter and faster with Upwork. Go to Upwork.com now and find your freelance expert. That's UPWORK.com. Post a job for free and get started today.
This episode is brought to you by Capital One. Capital One's tech team isn't just talking about multi-agentic AI. They already deployed one. It's called Chat Concierge, and it's simplifying car shopping. Using self-reflection and layered reasoning with live API checks, it doesn't just help buyers find a car they love. It helps schedule a test drive, get pre-approved for financing, and estimate trade-in value. Advanced, intuitive, and deployed. That's how they stack. That's technology at Capital One.
At Capella University, learning online doesn't mean learning alone. You'll get support from people who care about your success, like your enrollment specialist who gets to know you and the goals you'd like to achieve. You'll also get a designated academic coach who's with you throughout your entire program. Plus, career coaches are available to help you navigate your professional goals. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Want to get your hands dirty for a good cause? Volunteer with Gardeneers and help support students in Chicago's South and West Side schools as they learn to grow fresh food, care for gardens, and build healthier futures. No gardening experience needed, just your time, energy, and a desire to help local youth thrive. Best of all, you'll be making a direct impact where it matters most. Sign up to volunteer today at gardeneers.org.
I want to thank Allison for coming on and sharing her story with us. And if you're like, man, I would like to listen to Allison Sheridan more on the Kilowatt podcast. Well, you're in good news because you're in good news. I have good news for you. Allison's also going to be on next week, and she is going to share her experience driving the Nissan Ariya. So we'll get her thoughts on that vehicle next week. All right, everybody, that is it for me today. If you want to email me, it's Bodie, BODIE at 918digital.com. You can find me on X at 918digital. You can also find me on LinkedIn. Just search Bodie Grimm, BODIE, and Grimm with 2 M's. Oh, you know what? In the next episode, I invited a member of the Kilowatt community, Joe, to come on and debate full self-driving with me. And we let AI come up with the debate questions. And it was really more of a conversation. It was a lot of fun. Joe's emails in regularly, and we talk about FSD and some other things as well. And I think we have the same overall goal, but we have very different opinions on how close we are to that goal. And in some cases, the right way to get there. So it was a lot of fun to record that episode, and I think you're going to enjoy it. All right, everybody, thank you so much. And I will talk to you on Friday.
This episode is brought to you by Capital One. Capital One's tech team isn't just talking about multi-agentic AI, they already deployed one. It's called Chat Concierge, and it's simplifying car shopping. Using self-reflection and layered reasoning with live API checks, it doesn't just help buyers find a car they love. It helps schedule a test drive, get pre-approved for financing, and estimate trade-in value. Advanced, intuitive, and deployed. That's how they stack. That's technology at Capital One.
At Capella University, learning online doesn't mean learning alone. You'll get support from people who care about your success, like your enrollment specialist who gets to know you and the goals you'd like to achieve. You'll also get a designated academic coach who's with you throughout your entire program. Plus, career coaches are available to help you navigate your professional goals. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Want to get your hands dirty for a good cause? Volunteer with Gardeneers and help support students in Chicago's South and West Side schools as they learn to grow fresh food, care for gardens, and build healthier futures. No gardening experience needed, just your time, energy, and a desire to help local youth thrive. Best of all, you'll be making a direct impact where it matters most. Sign up to volunteer today at Gardeneers.org.